Today we're checking out 3 new wireless products from Xvive. We've got a tiny portable wireless in-ear monitor system, which is a great update to their popular U4 wireless in-ear monitor system. There's a wireless XLR adapter, which can be used to convert a microphone into a wireless microphone, or you can also use it for a wireless for speakers. And we're also going to look at a wireless system that has a tuner built into it. This acts as a wireless receiver as well as a tuner. What's great about all of these systems is that first, they all scan for the clearest and cleanest channel. Pretty rare to see at this price point. Second, they all have some sort of way to set the input gain or attenuate the signal a little bit to prevent distortion and clipping, which is also rare at this price point. And third, all of these operate in the 5.8 gigahertz frequency range instead of the very crowded 2.4 gigahertz frequency range. If you don't know what that means, I'm going to go over that in this video. There is also the A58 wireless guitar system, which I'm also going to mention in this video. That one has already been released, but I will also go over that product because it does fit with these as well. Many thanks to Xvive for sending this over and for sponsoring the video. Just as always, all the opinions in this video are my own. And at the end of the video, I will be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers. So consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start by just reviewing the products first, and then I'm going to explain why 5.8 gigahertz is a great frequency choice for these, as opposed to the more common 2.4 gigahertz frequency range. So let's go over the products first. So first up is their new U45 wireless in-ear monitor system. They have their U4 system, which has been out for quite a while. I've done a review about that product as well, and it's a great wireless system. This one is a nice update because it transmits in 5.8 gigahertz, as well as it has the ability to scan for the best channel. So this right here is the U45 wireless in-ear monitor system. This one is your receiver, and this one is your transmitter. Nice and tiny and compact. So this is the receiver that lives on you. You plug in your earbuds here at the top, and you have the switch to turn it on. You can push this button in order to change the channels manually. But like I mentioned, this thing is awesome because on all of these systems, if you just hold the button on the receiver, it will scan. And I'm going to let this happen in real time. You can see that it's scanning to see which channel is the cleanest and which one you should set it to. And it said to set it to channel 1 in this case. Very nice that it has scanning. You have your volume knob right here. And you have this clip so you can attach it to your belt or a dress or whatever you're trying to attach it to. Now this right here is the transmitter. Pretty simple to use. Power it up, set it to the same channel. So in this case, it's channel 1. And you can see this green light lights up, letting you know that it is getting a signal. If I change it to a different channel, you can see that light goes away. You also have this aux or line switch right here. If the signal is clipping going into the transmitter, try setting it to line, and that will turn the signal down a little bit. Or if the signal is too quiet and you have it set on line, set it to aux and you'll get a little bit more of a boost. But it's pretty simple. Plug in the transmitter into something like an aux send from your mixer. This is the one that I use with my band, with one of my bands anyways. And now I'm sending a signal to my in-ear monitors. If you need help setting up an in-ear monitor setup, I do have a beginner's guide as well as a how-to video if you are interested in those. And one of the things that I really like about this system is that they left it so that if you do plug it in, you can still plug in an XLR next to it. Although, just keep in mind, you don't want to have this buried and far away from you. So if you do need to bring the transmitter closer to you, if like your mixer is far away, you can always just attach an XLR cable to one of the aux sends, and then you can place the transmitter wherever you need to on stage. You also can see that it does lock in, which is nice. You have to push this button right here in order to detach it from whatever it's plugged into, so very nice that it won't accidentally get unplugged. Now you might ask, well, what if I have 1/4-inch outputs on my mixer for the aux sends? Well, you're in luck because it ships with this adapter as well, so that you can attach it to your 1/4-inch outputs. And all of these items charge via USB-C, and it does ship with a dual USB-C cable for charging the device. And you also have this pouch that you can put everything in to bring it from gig to gig. They do also sell a separate hard case if you are interested in that. And Xvive also does sell some in-ear monitor earbuds if you don't already have a set of earbuds, because this system does not come with earbuds, just FYI. So it's really incredible how tiny and portable these are. I mean, you can see I can just fit these in the palm of my hand. They're so tiny, compact, and portable. I love that. A frequently asked question I'm sure I'm going to get is, can you use it while the transmitter is plugged in? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can plug in the transmitter and use it while it is plugged in. Also, I'm going to get asked, is it a mono or a stereo system? This is a mono in-ear monitor system only. So the U4 has been out for a long time. It's a great wireless system. It's actually the main one that my wife uses. I have another singer that I work with who uses it. It's a great system. I see them used all the time. And remember, I'm going to go over the differences between 2.4 gigahertz and 5.8 gigahertz later. But I will just say that the U4 has been one of the most resilient 2.4 wireless systems I've used. I've seen higher end wireless on 2.4 gigahertz not work while the U4 still did work. So if you do have a U4, it's still a great system. However, this is a really nice update because it's in a more reliable frequency range and it has the ability to scan. So next up is a wireless XLR adapter that you can use for microphones or for speakers. So here's the U35 wireless XLR system. Very simple to use. Once you understand one of these, it's pretty easy to understand the rest of them. So you can manually set the channel on both of them by pushing this button. But remember, on the receiver, you can hold the button for about 3 seconds and it will start to scan. Do just remember you want to scan with your transmitter off. Make sure your transmitter is off when you do a scan. But after it finishes scanning, set the transmitter to the same channel. You'll see a green light lights up on the receiver and you're good to go. You also have a mic or line switch on this one as well. Kind of a little confusing the way that it's worded because it's not really mic or line level. But basically, set it to mic level. If it's clipping, if it's too hot, set it to line level and that will attenuate it down by about 10 decibels. Now there's 2 common ways that you would want to use this system. First of all, you can use this as a wireless microphone adapter. So you can attach this to a microphone like so. You can see that it does lock in as well. In order to unlock it, you have to push the button and pull it, which is nice. It won't accidentally unplug on you. And then the receiver goes into your mixer or wherever you're trying to send the signal to. And one of the things that's actually pretty cool about this is you don't plug it in this way. You actually have to twist it sideways and it plugs in this way. So it leaves plenty of room for other XLR cables to plug into the mixer. But again, just as always, you can extend this out with an XLR cable if you need to get it away from your mixer, which I'll go over a little bit when I talk about the tips about using these systems. Now, the other option that you have is you can also use it as a wireless for a PA system. So for example, I'm going to take the transmitter out of my main left and right of my Behringer mixer here. So the transmitter is plugged in to the output, and then I would plug the receiver into my speaker. So you could use it as a wireless or a PA system as well. Those are the 2 most common ways that you would want to use something like this. Pretty cool that you can use it in either way. And they both charge via USB-C. The charging cable is included, and you get a pouch for this as well. So it's really great that you can use it either for wireless mics or for a PA system. Some frequently asked questions, can you use both of them while they are charging? And the answer is yes. So if you want to use this for like a wireless PA system and you are able to plug them in, they will work while they are plugged in. Obviously, you wouldn't want to plug this in if you're using it with a microphone. That kind of destroys the point of it. But they do work if they're plugged in and charging. And the second common question I think I'm going to get is, can it work with a condenser microphone or a microphone that needs phantom power? No, this will not work with those. So next up, we have the P58 series. This is a cool wireless system for guitars, bass, instruments, and stuff like that. This is the transmitter, and this right here is the receiver that doubles as a tuner pedal as well. So this right here is the P58 wireless. This one's really cool because this one is your transmitter right here, kind of a standard plug and play wireless transmitter. This is the receiver right here. It goes on your pedal board. It doubles as the wireless receiver as well as a tuner, which is pretty cool. So it's powered with a standard 9-volt power supply, which is included. And then you would treat it like a tuner pedal. So just coming out of the output, I would go into a pedal or a quad cortex or whatever you're trying to send the signal to in your pedal board. Very, very simple. And then this is what plugs into your guitar. You can see I can manually set the channel if I want to by just pushing the button, but also you can hold it and it will scan for the best channel. On the transmitter here, turn it on, push the button, and set it to the same channel. In this case, it's channel 1. And you'll see this green light that says RF light up when it's paired successfully. Something worth noting, if you see that RF signal on your receiver and your transmitter is off, that means that that channel is already taken by something else. So you should scan in that case. Just a bonus tip. So this already acts as a wireless receiver, but it also acts as a tuner. Okay, I'm editing this now. This down in the bottom right is a smudge from my super sweaty hands. I have the sweatiest hands in the world. That is not a crack. It kind of looks like a crack. That's just a smudge because of how sweaty my hands are. Just FYI. So you're going to push this button right here, and you'll see that it says it's muted now, and you can start to tune your guitar. Very nice, large display screen. Shows you when you're sharp, shows you when you're flat. Very nice to have both the wireless receiver as well as a tuner. Here on the side, you also have an input jack as well, which is very nice. So if you do have a problem with your wireless at a show, you can always just plug in a cable right here and it will work just as normal. So if you forget to charge your wireless or you're in a really crowded wireless RF environment and your wireless is cutting out, you can quickly switch over to a cable. Do note that it will turn off the wireless feature as soon as you plug in here on the side, but you can still use the tuner. Now here on the transmitter, there's also a bonus feature. Here on the side, you can see it says channel/mode. So if you hold that button, this light over here for the A lights up. That means that it's now meant for active pickup mode. So if you're clipping, if your pickups are too hot or something like that, which can happen with active pickups, turn this mode on and it will attenuate the signal down a little bit as well so it doesn't clip going into the receiver. Very, very nice that they include that because a lot of these cheap plug and play wireless systems don't work with every type of pickup. That's a really, really cool feature. Something else that's a bonus on the pedal itself, you have a switch to set it to either true bypass or as a buffer. So that's your choice if you want to use it as true bypass or as a buffer. I personally would use it just on true bypass, but I know some people like to have a buffer. If you've never even messed with that, just try it on true bypass in my opinion. And on the top of the pedal, it also has a USB-C output, and this is for charging the transmitter. It comes with a USB-C to USB-C mini cable right here. Plug one in here, and while the pedal is plugged in, you can charge the transmitter as well. Very cool setup. They do also have the A58. It's the same type of idea. The transmitter is exactly the same, except this time the receiver, instead of it being a pedal with a tuner, you just have this as your receiver. So this would plug into your pedal board or wherever you're trying to send the signal to. You can hold the channel button and it will scan for the best channel. It found channel 1, so set your transmitter to channel 1. And it also does come in this carrying case right here. I actually did go into more detail about the A58 in this video right here if you want to find out more detail about it. This is probably one of my favorite cheap plug-and-play wireless systems. Really, really well designed. So it's really cool that this doubles as the receiver as well as the tuner pedal. That takes up less room on your pedal board. Instead of having to have a tuner and then a wireless, you just have that all in one. Cool design. My favorite thing about this though is that mode of setting it to active or passive pickup mode. Some of these type of cheap plug and play wireless systems don't work with every type of guitar or active pickup. So that's really cool that this is an option. So it's much more likely that this will work with your guitar or your instrument because of that feature. I really love that they've added that into this. I'm sure I'll get asked, can you change the tuning of the tuner outside of 440? And no, there is not a way to do that. It's just set to 440. The one issue that I have had with this system is it's kind of easy to bump the channel change, especially if you grab it. So if you're like turning it on or turning it off, it is a little bit easy to change the channel. So just make sure that you're aware of that. You can accidentally change the channel and then your transmitter and your receiver are not on the same channel and it obviously won't work. Just something to keep in mind. That's the only thing I've noticed about this. But other than that, it's a fantastic system. As far as the specs on all of them, they're actually all very, very similar. Less than 5 milliseconds of latency on all of them, 5 hours of battery life, and they have about 100 feet of range. Of course, that's going to depend on the wireless environment, how you have your wireless set up. Make sure you always have good line of sight. I'll go over a few tips here in a minute, but all of them can get up to 100 feet of range. All right, so why is it cool that these are in 5.8 versus 2.4 gigahertz? I do have a whole video going over why 2.4 gigahertz is known to cause dropouts, especially with cheaper wireless gear. I do recommend watching that video to get a larger breakdown about this, but overall, 2.4 gigahertz can be less reliable for two main reasons. First of all, 2.4 gigahertz is a very common frequency to be used, so other wireless systems can use it, but also Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth, and a lot of other things already use 2.4 gigahertz. So therefore, if something else is using that frequency that you are trying to use for your wireless system, if something else is using that frequency, that means it's much more likely that your wireless is not going to work, it'll get dropouts, you'll have less range, and so on and so forth. 5.8 gigahertz, on the other hand, is less used, so it's more likely that you're going to find a clear signal with a 5.8 wireless system as opposed to 2.4 gigahertz. And second, on top of that, 2.4 gigahertz actually has very few channels to choose from. I go over this in the video. There's only 11 channels to choose from, and only 3 of them have no overlap. Again, if you want to find out what that means, watch my video on that. 2.4 gigahertz frequency has less frequencies available for you to choose from to find a clear channel, whereas 5.8 gigahertz has more options to find a clear signal. If none of that made sense, the TLDR is that 5.8 gigahertz is less likely to get interference than 2.4 gigahertz wireless. That does not mean that this is a bulletproof wireless system. You have 6 channels to choose from in this system, whereas if you use like a higher end wireless system, you're going to have thousands of frequencies to choose from. That's part of what you get with cheaper versus more expensive wireless. However, here are a few tips and best practices. First of all, keep it away from Wi-Fi routers. Leave it around 10 feet away from Wi-Fi routers for best results. Second, do not have a bunch of wireless all bunched up together. Don't attach all of them to a mixer and have like 4 of them right next to each other. you want to get XLR cables and space them out over the stage. It's going to be better if like your guitar player has one, a bass player has one, the singer has one, and they're all separated on the stage. That's much better than having a bunch of antennas and wireless systems all near each other. That can cause them not to work. That's true with higher end wireless as well. That's just best practice in general. And third, especially with these systems, line of sight is always the best practice. That's true with any wireless system, but especially with 5.8 gigahertz systems. Don't have the receiver buried in a rack, hiding behind your drummer, attached to your mixer. You want to have the clearest line of sight as possible from the transmitter to the receiver. Very common mistake. And this is actually really important with 5.8 gigahertz wireless because the one benefit of 2.4 gigahertz is it's actually better at going through walls and passing through like obstructions and stuff like that. 5.8 gigahertz is not as good as 2.4 gigahertz. So especially with these wireless, you want to make sure you have the best line of sight possible. And fourth, this is the most common mistake I see with wireless gear. Do not use too much cheap wireless all at once. There is no magic answer on how many you can use. I do have this 5-minute video going over best tips. If you do decide to use cheaper wireless gear, I do highly recommend that you watch that video. Like I said, it's only 5 minutes long. But those are best practices when using wireless like this. Now, I did test the scanning on these. I wanted to see how well they scanned because I did check the manual and all of them actually are set to the same frequency. So channel 1 on all of the systems are set to the same frequency. Channel 2, all of them are set to the same frequency as well. So it is something to keep in mind if you do get like the guitar system and the in-ear monitor system, but you can't set like the guitar system to channel 1 and your in-ear monitor system to channel 1. They need to be separated on different ones. Just something to keep in mind. But I did do a scan test to test this, and here are the results. So I turned on one transmitter and set it to channel 1. I turned on another one and set it to channel 2. I turned on this one and set it to channel 5. And then I turned on this one and set it to channel 6. So 1, 2, 5, and 6 are already being used. So then I took this one and I scanned it multiple times to see if it would ever find channels 1, 2, 5, or 6. If it did, that means that the scanning would fail. If it found channels 3 or 4, that would mean that the scanning was working. I tested it multiple times and it found only channels 3 or 4 the entire time. So the scanning worked great. I then changed these so that they were set to channels 3 and 4. So now 1, 2, 3, and 4 were already taken. I repeated the scanning on the receiver. It should find channels 5 or 6 every single time. And it did. It never went to channels 1, 2, 3, or 4. It always found channels 5 or 6. So the scanning on this is great. It truly is scanning and finding the best frequency for you to use. Very, very helpful to have a scan feature, especially with affordable budget wireless like this. So scanning works great on these, and it truly does scan for the clearest and best channel. Make sure that you scan at your gigs. Overall, these are fantastic options, especially for the 3 reasons that I mentioned. First of all, they have the ability to scan. That's really rare at this price point. Second, 5.8 gigahertz in general is more reliable than 2.4 gigahertz. It always depends on where you are performing and what frequencies are open, but generally 5.8 gigahertz is more reliable. And then third, I really like that all of these have some sort of way to attenuate or change the gain or bring down the input signal. This is pretty rare at this price point as well. I definitely like them. And if you found that these are right for you and your needs, there are links down below in the description so you can get these for yourself. If you do use those links, it is a free way to support the channel as well at no extra cost to you. So I would appreciate it. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. That's also a free way to support the channel at no extra cost to you. And I would appreciate it. It helps feed the YouTube algorithm gods and recommend the video to more people. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am going to be doing a giveaway. I am going to give away the P58 wireless guitar bass instrument system with the tuner. Really great system. And actually I found out right before I started filming this that this system is actually not going to be out until a little bit later. I'm going to try to release this video the day that the other products come out, but you should be able to find the in-ear monitor system and the XLR system are out currently. I'll try to update the links down below. However, this system is going to come out a little bit later. So one of my subscribers is going to win the system even before it's released. I always try to give back to you guys whenever I can. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's really cool to see how much the channel has grown, and thank you guys for all of the support. So first of all, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And to enter the giveaway, you just have to leave a comment down below and use the magic word. You can say whatever you want in the comment section, just as long as at some point you say the magic phrase Madeira. I just got back from vacation, Iceland and Portugal, and a quick stop to Dublin. And we stopped in Madeira. It's an island. It's the Hawaii of Europe. If you're European, you probably already know about it. But as an American, I didn't know about this place. It's the most gorgeous place I've ever been in my life. I highly recommend you checking it out. So that's what's on my mind. Let me know if you've also been to Madeira because it's such a cool place. So that's the magic phrase for this week. You only have 24 hours to enter the giveaway. I will announce the winner on this date right here. Please remember, do not respond to scammers. I will never ask you for money ever. Even if my account gets hacked, hacked or something like that, I will never ask you for money in the comment section or anything like that. So please don't respond to scammers. 2 other videos I want to check out. Check out this other video that I did about 6 products by Xvive. One of them is the A58. So if you do want more info on that one, check out that video. And also don't forget to watch my 5-minute video about best practices if you use cheap wireless gear. You can check out both those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages at Scott Yule Music. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below with any other cool gear you want me to check out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.